Good morning, everybody. It's Pastor John with another edition of Monday Morning Quarterback. So yesterday we talked about that famous episode from the book of Jeremiah where Jeremiah is actually in jail. And the word of the Lord comes to him while he's in jail saying, buy your cousin's field in Anathoth. Now, buying a field during this time would have been ludicrous because the Babylonians were literally encamped on the field that Jeremiah was supposed to buy from his cousin. And they were about to invade Jerusalem and send people into exile. So, owning this field was not going to mean anything because you probably never see Jerusalem again. But that's what the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah for. And the reason is because God wanted Jeremiah and the people to know that they would occupy that land again, that they would return home, and they would have their lives in God again. So buying the field was an act of hope, essentially. It was an act of hope. And we talked a lot about hope during the sermon. If you want to, see the sermon, it's on our YouTube page. You can check it out. But the thing that I want to talk about today is how we view hope. Hope we look at sometimes as this fleeting thing that we need some grand gesture to achieve. The marchers in the protest, fighting together for a better world. Yes, that is an aspect of hope. It's a very noble and wonderful aspect of hope. And in these days especially, I think we do need to be vigilant and speak up and protest if that's, what we feel called to do. I think all those things are important. But all Jeremiah did to express his hope was this everyday thing of buying a field, buying a vacant field. And what really occurs to me, and I think something we should think about as people, as a church, and as a society, is that hope does not always need the dramatic. Sometimes just practicing daily acts of hope is enough. Recently, I had a family member who was very, very sick, sick unto death almost. And they have since come out of it and are doing well and are on the mend and things are well. But what that made me realize is, especially as I get older, being disciplined in my regimen of exercise, being disciplined in my regimen of trying to eat better, being disciplined in my regimen of trying to take care of myself, not hopefully not for vanity purpose, but for health purposes, to maximize the standard of the quality of life that I can enjoy, And what I realized is every morning when I get up and I choose to wake up a little earlier than I might want to, and I walk out to our garage and work out in a gym that we have out there. Or every morning I get up and decide to take my dog for a walk, and then maybe after I drop the dog off at the house, go for a hike, and start my day this way. Every day I decide to do these little things. Every day I decide, no Coke Zero today. I'm gonna have a water, Every day I make these small decisions. I'm actually practicing hope. And as you do these things habitually, you start to become more hopeful and more expectant in your life. I expect life to have more, to offer more, because I'm investing more. But these are very small things that anybody can do, And my thought is that as we practice these small practices of hope, getting up a little earlier, taking an extra walk, getting into the gym and taking care of your body, especially as you get older, doing all these things and anything else that creates a better world in small and subtle ways, those are signs of hope. Because what I'm saying is, this is what I'm investing in. And so I'm investing in this because I believe there's more good on the horizon because of this investment. And so I really want to share with you today is hope it can be those big dramatic things. But in order to strengthen ourselves, to prepare ourselves, to gird ourselves, to give ourselves hope to sustain us during those big dramatic events, we must practice hope in these everyday events. So when the large things occur, we are filled with hope already, and we're ready to face them. We prepare in everyday ways, and we change in everyday ways, sometimes in very subtle ways, so that we're ready for when life really needs our hope. I hope that's helpful. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. God bless.